In today's video, how do you lose another 10% body fat going looking like this to looking like this? I'm gonna give you the best way to get there, and we're starting right now. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and today's video topic is how do you lose 10% body fat to go from 30 to 20, to go from 20 to 10, to go from 15 to 5, whatever that body fat percentage goal is. That is a lot. You are moving the needle quite a bit if you're losing 10% of your body fat. You're gonna notice an improvement in how you feel. You're gonna notice improvement in your measurements, how your clothes are fitting. Hell, you might even need some new clothes. And guess where it comes from? Right here, guys. Please go to my Instagram direct message. Now, I apologize. A lot of you guys have been sending me messages and Instagram kind of changed. There's like a little button that says requests. I had no idea that there were messages in there because it doesn't show you. Well, I figured it out. I'm gonna go in there and start answering your questions, so please send them. Thank you for the great topic ideas. I'm gonna read the question, then we're gonna get into it. I'm losing weight and I've gone from 44% to 35%. Congratulations. My goal is to lose another 10%, but I'm kind of stuck. I do 2 strength training days, 3 cardio days, tracking macros, but I feel like my progress is not much. Do you have any recommendations on nutrition and workout? How long would it take to lose another 10% body fat? First, let's talk about how do we know what our body fat percentage is, guys. Are you tracking it with a reliable method? Now, I recently went and got a body fat done at a DEXA scan and an InBody, so I'm working on a video to show you guys how shredded I can get in 30 days. But for me, body fat testing as a coach, I like to use 3 methods, okay? The scale, right? The scale is just one measure. It actually just tracks your overall body mass, but it is a good indicator for those of us that are starting to get fit. However, perhaps a better indicator is pictures. Pictures show when you're changing. There are times when we will lose body fat, add some muscle, recomp. The scale will really reflect very little change, but you'll see it in the pictures. And if you see it in the pictures, you're also gonna see it in method number 3, and that is in your measurements, right? So you can either do body fat measurements, you can get a little measuring tape for your waist, for your thighs, for your chest, or you can get a little calipers, right? You can do skin fold measurements and just see how much body fat is under your skin. But by using all 3, checking that once a week, we really know. But let's assume you're already doing that. Let's assume you know exactly where you're at. You've already lost a lot of body fat and you want to lose another 10%. This is where, as a coach, I take all the data from 1 week's worth of work. I ask my clients to hit a certain calorie and macro range, to be a certain amount of activity, and then I get this data from them and I make adjustments. So if you've been stuck for a while, it's likely that you're now at maintenance, meaning our bodies adapt to our training, to our cardio, to our diet over time. And so it requires that we make an adjustment. How much of an adjustment? Well, I have to dig into the details a little bit more than that, but we do have a free nutrition calculator on our website that gives you macro ideals. It helps you break down your meals throughout the day. But the goal there should be to put in your age, your weight, and set your goal at fat loss or rapid fat loss and see what the macros it gives you are. Compare that to what you're currently doing. For most people, you can lose weight pretty easily in the beginning. The more body fat you lose, the more precise you have to be. Guys, I'm getting close to being absolutely shredded, and I've just really started focusing more on the details, okay? Tracking things by weight, right? Not by sight. Tracking things by weight is a game changer because you don't realize how many calories you take in. Also, tracking everything you eat and drink. Okay, sometimes we graze, especially the less body fat we have, the more hungry we get, we're gonna graze on a few things throughout the day. A few hundred calories throughout the week can really prevent you from losing body fat. Also, look at your daily activity. For those of us that encounter stalls in weight loss, you might realize you started to conserve energy, right? As you're doing cardio, as you're restricting calories, our bodies naturally start to conserve energy, meaning you get up less. Sometimes you'll notice that that is going to prevent fat loss. I always tell the story of one of the first times I entered a fat loss phase. What I did was I got a list of cardio from my coach, and guess what I stopped doing? A lot of other activities. I stopped playing basketball, I stopped playing ping pong, and that might sound silly, but those activities were burning so many calories that I simply replaced that with cardio to null. I had no change and I couldn't understand why. I said, well, I added cardio, but I didn't look at the other things that I was doing. So make sure that you're being active. You can track your daily steps now. They have step trackers. Most of our phones or fitness devices allow us to do that. So as you reach these plateaus, You have to get all the data. This is what coaching is all about. It's looking at the big picture. How is your sleep? How is your stress? How is your diet? How is your activity? How is your training? You said you're getting 3 cardio sessions a week and 2 weight training sessions. Well, it might require that you pick up the pace a little bit with activity. Maybe you figure out a way to be more active, okay? All of this adds up. The little bit of calories that you're over consuming because you're not weighing your food, the activity that you're not doing because you're getting a little bit fatigued. You want to be losing 1 to 2% of your body weight per week, not being too aggressive, okay? So hopefully this helps you understand the big picture. It's hard to give you guys like raw, actual plans on what specifically you should be doing because that's what coaching is involved. I'm trying to give you big picture items where you can apply it to yourself. And a lot of times it's about the motivation. You say you want to lose 10% body fat more than you've lost. What is your motivation? What is your why? If you're being really good for a couple days, but then you find you back off because you're getting a little bit demotivated, I've got the perfect thing for you. We've got a 90-day transformation challenge starting in July. And guess what? We're giving away cash. We've given away a lot of money. I'll show you some of the winners here from the past. But that group that we have provides a lot of support. You guys message each other. I have found the community to be the biggest benefit of that, along with the nutrition and training programs and guided support that all of the coaches at Pro Physique here give you guys. But for me, who likes to do bodybuilding shows, it's very easy to stay motivated because I know I'm going to be getting up on stage under lights and very little clothing. And so I have this vision of getting shredded. For you guys, it just comes down to what is that motivation, okay? There are all these little facets go into successful fat loss planning, okay? Yes, nutrition, yes, training, but what is the psychology behind it? A lot of people say they want to lose weight, but when it comes down to it, the weight loss is less important than a social activity, right? So it's about learning those skills so that you can live your life and be successful both in losing the weight, keeping the weight off, and finding that motivation can be very important. Heck, a wedding. How many people are successful with weight loss because of a wedding because you have a deadline? Find a deadline for yourself along with all this, and I promise losing that next 10% body fat won't seem so daunting. Announce that thing. Tell people what you're doing. You don't have to tell people you don't want to eat because of your wedding, but sometimes people will give you crap if you're just saying, I just want to lose a few pounds. Oh, you look great. Have a tequila. I mean, those are my kind of people, to be fair. You should have a tequila. But if you have a goal, stick to it. I'm getting as shredded as possible this next 30 days. So watch for that video, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.